I'm Rudrani, and welcome to our series Wonder Women. My guest today has lived her life fearlessly on both fronts, professional and personal, and she continues to be an inspiration with the kind of work that she's done and the way she's lived her life. Of course, I am talking about the extremely talented Raveena Tandon. Thank you for doing this, Wonder Woman.
It's always my pleasure, Rudrani.
I had to, of course, make you a part of the series that we were doing. And your journey truly has been inspiring. Today I'm going to take you back to that memory lane from when you started and sitting right in front of me, and how you've been able to maintain exactly who you were back then. You come from a family, of course, who belong to the film industry. We all know relation to McMahon, your father. But you were so adamant, and your family also, in the fact that they are not going to be involved in this journey of yours, which is why that independent streak of trying to make your name for yourself started back then. It continues even still. Let's go back there, because I think a lot of women who are starting from will want to know that part of your journey.
I think first and foremost, even though the fact that my dad was in the movies, I don't think we ever expected that, nobody expected that I'll be in the movies. Forget anyone else, even I didn't. I was this nice Rolu Polu kid doing my thing, and in fact, when I started, when I came into my last years of school, I assisted my dad in the 8th standard, but still I was kind of, you're drifting, you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to go. My ideal was Kiran Bedi at that time, and I always wanted to join the police force, so I had always thought of that. Then I wanted to fly, so I wanted to become a pilot. So these were more my aims, and there was something about the uniform that I always wanted to be in. I didn't get a chance then, but now doing the various roles that I am, I get a chance to be in uniform, so I'm playing the best of all lives actually. And I think it just kind of just happened. It was more like people were telling my dad, I think Mahesh ji had just launched Pooja Bhatt or something. It was then when I was in my 10th standard, and they were like, when I used to go with my dad for premieres or attending like Pancham Uncle's party or something like that, everyone would be like, oh, so are you launching Raveena? My dad would turn and look and say, ye par isko to interest hi nahi hai, or we never thought of that. And personally, I don't think even I would have liked my dad to launch me, or because I feel सब parents को जो उनके बच्चे करते हैं बहुत अच्छा लगता है. So, but when someone from the outside and a producer invests, his time and his finances and everything on you, and then they sign you and they believe in you, is when I feel there is more credibility, And so I always wanted to stand on my own feet, like my dad had done. My dad came from nothing. In fact, someone was just sending me an old interview of his. My dad came to Mumbai, even though being a High Court judge's son, he left everything. He was studying for MBBS in Agra Medical College. He left all that and he came to Bombay to struggle to become an actor, and he lived his life here and went by selling door closers. Imagine. He used to actually go door to door selling door closers, and then he got a break in Filmalay and did work with a junior artist, and then became an assistant director, and then became a director. So I was always inspired by his story, and that's exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to stand on my own feet. But yes, I might have not gone through a struggle where I went to producers' homes, but I think fate had it. It was destiny, that it was meant to be, that I kept getting offers, and I kept saying no initially because I was not sure myself if I wanted to do movies. I never trained, I never went to acting schools or dancing schools, or because I never grew up with the fact that, I want to be an actor one day. I'm here totally by default. And I kept getting film offers on its own. Even my first ad offer that I got, Amita Segal, she was a talent scout, and she called me and she said, we've heard of you and you go to college and this and that, and we want to cast you in our first ad. It was Sunsilk, I think. And I was like, but you've never seen me, so how do you know? She said, no, we have talent scouts in colleges, and somebody was recommending your name. So, and then Kimmy's husband, he called Shantanu Shure, photographer, and he said, I want to photograph you because we've heard about you. So I was like, where are you guys seeing me? How do you all know, that, I exist? They said, no, after that you want to do ads, or no, it's your this thing, but I want to do. So things just happened to me, you know, and it was not that, oh, my dad reached out to people to say. In fact, my dad was like, really? And neither did they even guide, you know, my dad would guide me, yes, what's right and wrong, and, you know, about how to deal with things. But I made my own decisions, I did my own career, I didn't have a godfather sitting on my head, or I didn't have to go to offices. And like I said, it was purely destiny that got me whatever work I got, and it just kept happening, and there was no stopping then.
You didn't know everything, right? Like right now, the people who are launching themselves, they are way more groomed, they know what they are doing, they know the kind of look that they have to give.
Absolutely.
But उस टाइम पे तो बिल्कुल ये सब नहीं थी, और मुझे लगता है इनसिक्योरिटीज और भी ज़्यादा इनकलकेट करने की कोशिश कर देती थी कि आप ऐसे नहीं दिख रहे हो, ऐसे नहीं दिख रहे हो, which I think you had to navigate through at a very young age because you were coming into an industry like this.
There was a lot of body shaming, and I will be very honest, the body shaming was not from the industry. Everyone's very easy to blame the film industry, but the film industry was the one who gave me my chance, and they were signing me, big directors were signing me, producers were signing me, so they were not body shaming me. The media was body shaming us. Editors who were women were either busy slut shaming heroines, or trying to prove how nasty they are, and or trying to, you know, be questioning anyone's body or face or hair, and oh my god, look at her thunder thighs, oh look at her Amazonian body frame. And these were the kind of things that actresses were called at that time. And now some of those same women are, you know, either they are some PRs of some company, or they are, you know, these very women's liberation feminist kind of झंडा लगा के खड़ी रहती है. And I was like, okay, what happened to you then? How did this metamorphosis happen, or do you just blow with the wind? You know, kind of a thing. So it was sad at that time, because at least I had a great I can say a strong upbringing. I had a stable house, I had my parents who were my backbone, who talked me through these things, or talked me through those phases, or were with me at the times when I was my lowest. But
did it break
there were
you
so many
sometimes?
people who would, of course it would. Of course it would. And then we would try all these horrible, unhealthy things, just trying to lose weight and trying to conform to what was expected from us. That is a bad phase for anyone to go through. But I think for a certain amount of time, probably I did say no, I'm not going to do this and I'm not going to eat that, and I would starve and all. And then I realized what I'm doing is seriously unhealthy, and I need to take care of my health first. And that's when I actually went into the healthy way of weight loss. A lot of women probably were pressurized to go through surgeries, etc., whatever, to do this. But luckily I didn't have to go through that. But yes, there was a point where I was starving myself, and then I realized, hello, that's seriously unhealthy what I'm doing to myself. And luckily then I've always had a very strong, stable, and I eat healthy. I believe in living healthy and eating healthy, and that's what I live by.
You've always said you've learned on the job. You said you learned everything to a point where you decided that I want to be a little more than what I'm being given right now. Where did that clarity come from at that time? Because I think it's the start of who you are today.
In the middle of the square, and I think it was that song that I was doing. Kisi disco mein jaye.
Really?
Yeah. And I remember also what I was wearing. I was wearing a white top and a white short skirt and sitting in the middle of the square. And I was like, okay, I'm loving doing this. I'm enjoying this. But now after this, what? The times that I have to push myself to now see and challenge myself that what can I do beyond this, and consciously start picking up different things that I want to do. Because now I'm been doing this. I'm done with this, I'll never be done with that, because I still enjoy doing my songs and my dances and stuff. But and hit music is always welcome. But beyond this, what is what I started questioning myself. And that's when I came back, I started consciously looking for things which were different, which were offbeat, which were off me doing just the regular song and dance comedy routine. And that's when I made this switch. Yeah, I learned on the job. I learned everything, literally everything on the job. And it was something that kind of clarity, I think, it you kind of evolve into that. You know, you can't say that it hit you one fine day,
Yeah.
but you just evolve into that, you know, and that's where, and this is how.
Massive fan base, right? And you wanted to break out from that. That's a very cushy place to be in. वो comfortable था क्योंकि आपको पैसे उतने मिल रहे हैं, आप top में हो already, and you wanted to break down from that. Was it difficult at the time? Because when you walk into rooms और वो जो, क्योंकि वो आपको वही रोल में देखना चाहते हैं, नहीं नहीं यही काम कर रहे हैं, यही करो. You know, it's difficult.
It was very difficult because also a lot of my colleagues at that time, a lot of actresses who are even till today very comfortable playing themselves in every film.
Yeah.
Very rarely you'll see an actor take on roles which are completely varied from what they are in personal life.
Yeah, yeah.
I can say today that I've played a Bihari housewife in Shul. I've played a young girl getting trapped into the politics of, into the corruption of politics in Satta. I have played an inspector in Aranyak, a Pahari inspector in Aranyak. I have played a mother at the age of 20, I think 27, 28, when I was not even married and didn't even have a child myself. I played the mother of Raima Sen, and Shan played my son-in-law in a movie called Daman, marital violence. I played a rich spoiled brat. I was playing in a lot of movies, so that's not something that I can really say. But it's just the varied roles that I played. Then I played this extremely glamorous grey character in Ux. Hence, it was not that I'm doing a role which I'm only playing myself, Raveena Tandon as Sher ki Ladki, in every film. And that's the reason also when I started with OTT, I picked up an Aranyak rather than another where I would be playing myself. Though that one other show became such a big hit that I was like, "Arey, did I take the right call? What did I do? I should have done," you know, that also. But then you can't do everything.
Yeah.
And then Aranya kind of paid off for me, because that year I won all the awards for actually trying out, you know, something different. And Daman got me the national award. At the time we spoke about marital rape and marital violence and abuse at a time when, you know, cinema was Mera Pati Mera Devta Hai and Jo Bhi Hai Mera Suhag Hai Mere Suhag Ko Mat Ujado, and here was a completely different take on that marital rape exists. And 23 years down the line, that matter is still being debated in the Supreme Court. You know, it's still so relevant. So here is something that, you know, was completely out of the box. And it was not that I did it for effect or whatever, but it did create a lot of awareness. There was a lot of talk. Then there was Matra as well, playing a rape victim, and there was a lot of talk about these topics, and that is the point. The point is to do these kind of films to bring awareness, that it becomes a talking point. At least the conversation starts somewhere, that what are we doing about these things. And Daman won me the national award. Shul won the national award as a film. Aranyak won me all the awards, existing awards, including the Dada Saheb International Film Festival Award. And then, yes, now completing a full circle with all the work that I've done for social causes as well, was the Padma Shri then. So it's been a good journey.
People will assume that you've had enough, but I feel like the love for the craft has always kept you alive, right? Otherwise, the people would have given up, right, at a point. And I think that is why it's so important to tell your story every time.
It's just that you have to find your strength to go through with it, with your convictions, with your morals, with your values, and with what you believe in intact in place. And not let people get the best of you and shake that out of you.
Correct.
So you need to be rooted. And you need to believe in what you do. So first of all, I never got pressurized into doing something that I didn't want to do. That is something, even though I had to sacrifice a lot of films for that, or sacrifice a couple of, you know, working with someone whom I really wanted to work with, but couldn't because of certain things. So that I did not budge from. I had my own set of principles that I had for myself. And I stood by that. So it's something that like I said, it all stems from having that faith within yourself.
Sure.
And I do believe if you're hardworking, you persevere, you're sincere to your work, and with a clear conscience. I've never out of where does politics come from? You know, कि इसको movie से निकाल दो, इसको इसमें से निकाल दो. It comes from insecurities and jealousies. So that is something, like you said, I've always been a secure actor. I've been a secure person. कि ठीक है, नहीं हुआ कोई बात नहीं, लेकिन मैं किसी के मुंह से निवाला नहीं छीनूंगी. This is something I've never learned to do, and I never did. And that is something which I sleep with a clear heart and a clear conscience, that I have not hurt anyone. So when you believe in all these things and you stick by it, believe me, I always believe that good only happens to good people, and it will happen. तुम्हारा टाइम आएगा, तुमसे ये कोई छीन के नहीं लेके जा सकता. तुम्हारी किस्मत, हाँ, ऊपर वाले ने किस्मत दी है, ऊपर वाले ने थोड़ा बहुत लक भी भेजना है, और ऊपर वाले ने हाथ पैर दिए कि खुद मेहनत करो यार, खुद करो अपना काम, तो अपनी मेहनत का खाओ. Basically,
I would like to know the women in your life who have impacted you. Also, some actors that you've looked at and said, you know what, this is how it's supposed to be. So those would be great. I'd like to know who are the women that inspire Raveena.
I think obviously the women who inspire me, one definitely has to be my mum. Then it was one of my masis, who in those very days when it was unheard of, was a pilot and would drive her own car, and she was a lot of people tell me that I'm quite like her, because even she was like that. She would fly a plane and everything. She was my masi. And well, definitely my daughters, they are my backbone, all three of them now, so strong with me all the time. Then there is definitely my friends, my best friends, who've been with me for the longest time. Some of my cousin sisters whom I really look up to. So yes, these are the women who are around me, who rally around me, who've been there. My mom-in-law, for sure. I think one of the nicest people that I've met. Then, of course, I definitely would like to mention, besides my daughters, is their nanny who brought them up. She's also been with me for such a long time, and now she's like one of my best friends. And she's brought up my kids, and now she's a part of our home and family. So these are the women who are around me, who give me strength. And yes, of course, my friend and someone who's with me constantly now is Reema. So these are all people who are very, very close to me.
We talk about creating safe, protective spaces for women to work also, right? This has been a conversation for a while. And, you've been someone who's been there in shoots for working for such a long time. How did, at that time, comparatively, how do you compare to today? If I take you back to the time, were the spaces made enough? Were there enough, because of the fact that there weren't enough women around you all the time? How did you deal in situations like that? And were there people, or were there actors, or other people who tried to come and protect you in situations?
Of course, your co-actors and stuff did stand up for you a lot of times. I remember Salman doing that. I remember Sanju doing that. I remember once we were shooting in a place, Dalhousie, where the whole unit was actually almost arming themselves up with rods and stuff, because there were these bunch of really unruly local people who were just getting onto mine, and Sunil Shetty and me, and so they were all prepared. So it is something, when a unit is together, it's like a family. At that time, they're all standing up with each other and for each other. You know what, I do feel, I mean, of course, we're talking about women safety at the workplace, which things have improved a hell of a lot now. We do have a lot of more awareness as to what can happen at what situation and how one can deal with it, and we have a lot of सुविधाएं भी काफ़ी हैं उसके लिए deal करने के लिए. But I do believe the difference will really happen when we actually have even more women than what we have today. There's definitely an improvement from yesterday to today, but there has to be a bigger improvement from between today and tomorrow. So we definitely need more women in the workplace. More women in our workforce as far as our industry is also considered. I've just done a film called Patna Shukla, which should be releasing now, which has I've worked with a woman DOP for the first time, and I used to just keep looking at her in amazement, because she was like commanding and she was all there, it's like I would just keep looking at her, and she'd look at me, what are you looking at? I said, no, I'm just like in awe, you know.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
so completely loving the boss attitude, you know. And it was such a great feeling to have women. And now actually if you go to see, we do, whether it's different kind of platforms where we have women leading these platforms and leading these corporate sectors, and we have women in our workforce, whether they're DOPs or ADs or directors or producers, and it is a very, very positive change that I'm seeing.
Yeah.
So once that starts happening, we have more women faces around.
Yeah.
I think it'll all fall even better into place.
What is one advice, or maybe a couple of advice, that you gave once Sasha made the decision of coming in the industry, which she will soon with her
Yes,
debut?
I think I said the same to her what my dad told me, that it's all within you. Your self-respect and your dignity is right here, and you hold it in your hands. And of course, many more things that I remember my dad telling me, that when you're climbing the ladder of success, be very kind and nice to the people who are holding up the ladder for you.
So
Because
true.
do remember that they are going to be the same people waiting for you when you'll be stepping down off that ladder. So when you're coming down that success route, they'll be there waiting for you. So better know who and how you are being with people
Sure.
at whatever stage and whatever rung of your life.
Thank you for doing this. But before I let you go, we have to have some fun questions. Raveena, are you ready?
Absolutely.
Okay. What is a misconception about yourself that people have, which obviously is not true?
I don't know, they think, oh, all filmy people were born with a silver spoon and never had to struggle in their lives and never had to work hard in their lives. And filmy people don't work hard. I mean, yeah.
If you had to give an one-liner advice to the woman who had joined this industry, to the younger you, what would you tell her?
Just
And
believe in yourself. Just believe in yourself, because it's all there.
to the young actors who are coming in the industry and they say they look up to you, what would you like to tell them?
If you do look up to me, also look up as to a little bit of homework as to how everyone reaches at the point where they are, and then inculcate the good points.
Fantastic. Okay. What is one of your favorite songs that you've always loved? People have a lot of Raveena
From
favorite
my-
songs. Yeah, from your own amazing dance numbers that you've
I
done.
think a lot of ones. There was a song from Kshatriya, Dil Na Kisi Ka Jaye. So a lot of unheard ones which didn't become such big hits also. But I think the entire album of Aks, also, yeah. Then I like the remixes of Sher Ki Ladki and Tip Tip.
I love that. Okay. If there are two movies that you had to suggest to your kids and once they grow up from your filmography that they must watch, what would they be and why?
Shul and Satta, and they watched all the comedies anyway.
Correct. Okay. All right. Today is Women's Day, so I must tell you, if there is one woman from the industry, a female actor that whose journey you always admired, who would that be and why?
I think I love the way Wahida ji, has lived her life and is continuing to live so. And I think her interests and mine are also quite similar. She's also now into wildlife photography, I hear.
Yeah.
So it's literally, her song is also one of mine, Kaanton se Kheech ke Yahan Chal, and it's someone whom I've always loved. And in fact, I was doing a show with her where I was the host and I was supposed to talk about her life, and for the first 10 minutes I just could not. I started crying when she came in front of me. I was so overwhelmed that I'm actually standing in front of my idols.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And she's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. The last one, of course, is it's a message for all those who are watching on the special occasion of Women's Day. What would you like to tell them?
On the special occasion of Women's Day, I would like to say that it's not just this one day that we need to be celebrated. We should be celebrated by our families and everyone around us, mostly every day, because of the kind of stuff that we can do. I think Indian women can multitask, and that's what sets them apart from every other woman, on this planet. But nonetheless, women as whole are amazing. The kind of strength that they have, I think that's why God gave us the strength to procreate.
Sure.
And He did not give it to the man to do that. He gave it to us because He knew we could bear the pain and still move on and still nurture and nourish life on this planet.
Yeah.
So for me, women are karta dhartas, and they are devis in every form and whatever that they do.
So beautiful. But I think your fans will be very disappointed that I didn't talk a little about the fact that you're coming back to comedy.
Yeah.
It's not like you never left, but I know
Yeah.
you were always telling me that
Yeah, I want
welcome
do
to
a
the
comedy again.
jungle.
Yes.
Tell us a little on that, and of course about the lot of interesting projects that is coming up. How can I let you go? Of course, we're going to talk about that.
Well, lot of good work coming up ahead, and there is Ghurchari that's releasing with Sanju. That's also a comedy. There's Patna Shukla that's going to be releasing. That's like a human drama. And then there is Welcome to the Jungle. That is an out-and-out comedy. So right now I have, after Karma Calling, these 3 releases that will happen this year. So you should look forward to that.
We should look forward to that and more. Can I just say that the teaser that you all created was hilarious.
Yeah, it was funny.
And I want to know if you all gave input, because you're like, हाँ हम दोनों को ही संभालना पड़ेगा.
No. We were laughing throughout doing
lovely.
the entire thing. Yeah, it was so much fun. Even shooting that teaser was fun. So you can imagine what we all doing on the sets. We are having a great time.
We're having a great time, and like I said, thank you for being who you are.
Thank you.
I will always love you for the
I
person
always
that
love
you are.
too.
Here you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So much love and happy Women's Day.
Thank you. Same to you.
Bye. Thank you.